This is a Learning Commons instructional video. This video is on APA formatting the 6th edition. Now this is part 2 in our series, and this will cover how to do citations and references. Now one thing I will point out from watching video part 1 is that all your references do have to be double spaced. In this video they are just single spaced for demonstration, so you can see what they look like all together, but when you actually type it, make sure that they are double spaced. Now let's get into some citation fun. Now first off, there are way too many examples to show them all in this little presentation here. So for a good run through of all the different rules and examples and help that's out there, you can go to apastyle.org, or you can check out Purdue's online writing lab, or come down to the LRC and you can check out the APA manual for 6th edition. So first, I'll just say a couple things about periodicals. Now, periodicals are publications that are published on a set schedule. Some examples of this would be journals, magazines, newspapers, but also include stuff like company newsletters. Books and reference materials. Now, books can be fiction or nonfiction, and reference materials are like encyclopedias or dictionaries. And the last little group I'm going to talk about in this is audiovisual media. This would be motion pictures, television programs, and radio casts and podcasts and that kind of stuff. So first here, let's talk a little bit about periodicals. And now this is just going to be a general reference form, meaning this is how all periodicals are cited, but depending on the individual type of periodical, it'll be slightly different. So first, they all need to start with listing the last name, comma, first name, initial, and middle name, initial of the author. And you would do this for up to 6 authors, and then it changes a little bit after that. Following that, you need to have the year that the article was published. Then you need to have the title of the article, not italicized, and then you need to have the title of the periodical, and then that part has to be italicized. Following that, you have to have the volume. After that, in parentheses, you need to have the number. And at the very end here, you need to have the page number the article starts on in the journal, and have the page number that the article ends on in the journal. Now this is, like I said, just the basics. There are examples for every one of these individually. You can first go to the apastyle.org website. Now this is APA's own website, and they'll give you all the rules for different types of citations. For a follow-up resource that has lots of great examples, you can check out Purdue's online writing lab. And their website is owl.english.purdue.edu/owl. Moving on to books and reference materials, doing the same general form for them. For books, you need to first start with the author's last name, and then with their first name and middle name initials, followed by the year that the book was published. You then need to have the title of the book italicized. You need to have the location of the publisher and the publisher name. Now the location is both the city and the state. So to do this, you type in the city, comma, and then you can capitalize the 2-letter abbreviation for the state. So basically the same as if you were going to be addressing an envelope. Now if you retrieve the book from online, everything in the beginning is the same, with the author, the year, and then italicize the title of the book, but rather than the location and publisher, you list the website where you retrieved it from. Now you don't have to cite the entire book, especially if you're using reference material. You can cite just a particular chapter. So to do that, you need to have the author of the book, again, last name, first name, middle name, initials, the year the book was published, the title of the individual chapter or entry, not italicized, list the editor if it's listed, and if it's a reference book, there probably will be an editor rather than an author, And then you need to have the title of the book italicized. And then you need to list the first page number and the last page number of the chapter. And then at the end you need to have the publisher, location, and name. And again, location is city and state. Just like for doing a book, if you're doing an individual chapter, you cite the beginning entirely the same, but if it's from online, at the end you need to put retrieved from with the website where you got it from. Now you can pop on to apastyle.org and you can get APA's examples and their rules. Otherwise, again, you can pop on to Purdue's website for a bunch of examples, and they're owl.english.purdue.edu/OWL. Last here, I'm going to talk about audiovisual media. Now, first, if you're doing a film or video, since there's no author, you need to start with the producer. You need to have the producer's last name, and then you need their first name, middle name, initials. And then in parentheses, you need to have them listed as the producer. And then if it's a motion picture or a film that has a director, a TV episode has a director, then after producer, you need to have the director with their last name, middle name, initial, first name, middle name, initials. And then in parentheses, you need to have director, so you know which one's the producer and which one's the director. After those, you have the year that the film was made. Then you have the title of the motion picture italicized. And then here you have the type. Now if it's a motion picture, a DVD, podcast, TV show, etc., this is where you would list it, is right here, so they know what type of video this was. And then you need to have the country of origin, and then the name of the studio that produced the video. For a music recording, it's similar, a little different. You need to start off with the writer, the person who actually wrote the song. You need to have the copyright year, the title of the song, not italicized. And then if the writer of the song and the person performing it are different, here you need to have recorded by and then list the artist that actually recorded the song. Following that, you have to have the album where the song can be found on. Now, I know songs can be found on multiple albums, but you just want to use the name of the album that you got the song from. And the name of the album has to be italicized. Now, just like the type for film, you need to have the type of recording that it is. If it's a CD, a cassette, a record, a tape, you know, any of that kind of stuff. And then you need to have the label name and location. Label being the company that produced the CD. And then if the recording date is different than the copyright year, then at the very end you need to record and put out the recording date. Now this is just a general reference form like the rest of them, so for the individual rules you can pop on to apastyle.org, or for follow-up you can go to Purdue's online writing lab at owl.english.purdue.edu/OWL. Please continue to watch part 3 for information using quotations. If you have any questions about anything you saw in this video, you can stop into the ETC or the LRC. You can pop on to apastyle.org to get all the rules and reference yourself. Otherwise, a good follow-up site is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. Their website is owl.english.purdue.edu/OWL, or you can hop on to our screencast page for other awesome WITC videos, and that website is www.screencast.com/users/WITC Learning Commons.